Hi, welcome to the Virtual Jewish Thought of the Week. This is Rabbi Dan Lewin speaking to you from Dallas, Texas. These days, people are very busy and don't have a lot of time to sit and read or listen. So the goal of these videos is for you, wherever you are in your office or your home, to have very quick, easy, light access to a thought from the weekly Torah portion or the upcoming festival that you can store away and bring out at a later date. Okay, this week, the name of the portion is Metzora. Metzora is a type of skin disease. The theme, what we're going to talk about, is speech, the power of speech. What's the connection between the skin disease and speech? Is that there used to be this link that says that the person who was stricken with this disease, that in its source, mystically, where it came from, is bad speech, negative speech. So the result would manifest itself physically. Nowadays, we don't have that same link, but what we do have is the same concept of the evil tongue, what most people hear as Lashon Hara. The Talmud makes an interesting statement. The Talmud says that Lashon Hara, the evil tongue, gossip, negative speech, kills three people. Who are these three people? The person that's speaking, the person that's listening, and the person that's being spoken about. So at first glance, that's not surprising. What does it mean it kills them? Killing here means some type of spiritual damage. So you say, well, what's really the damage that's being done? So the person that's speaking, why is that damaging? Well, the second you start gossiping, speaking about somebody, that's not good for you. What about the person listening? Person listening gets damaged because now they just heard something about somebody else that's negative. So they were the recipient of that thought. You tell somebody and they say, okay, well, now I know something about somebody I didn't know before. And that's damaging for many reasons. On a simple level, that's damaging because when somebody tells you something bad about somebody else, or even anything about somebody else, whether you've met that person or not, the next time you're going to see that person, you automatically have that in your mind. Even if you say, you know what, I'm just going to approach this person completely honestly. I don't know if what that person said was true. I'm just going to come from scratch and relate to the person the way they relate to me. So you're going to forget about what they said. Even if you try to do that, it's very, very hard to get out of your mind what somebody has told you about somebody else. And that's why it damages the listener. Then the real problem comes in when we're talking about the third person. Person that's being spoken about. Why does it damage that person? Well, you could say, well, it damages the reputation of that person. But if we examine and investigate what the statement of the Talmud means, it doesn't just mean that it damages the reputation. It means it damages them spiritually in some way. And the obvious question is why? They weren't even in the room. They're nowhere to be found. Why should gossip cause a problem for the person that's not even there? So one of the answers provided by the Baal Shem Tov has to do with the Kabbalistic power of speech. The function of speech is to bring something from a state of concealment out into the open in a state of revelation. What that means on a simple level is when I'm thinking something in my mind and I haven't released it into the world, so to speak, so nobody knows about it. It's not really a reality. But the second I open my mouth to actually talk about it to somebody else, I put it out there. And when I put it out there, that gives it credibility, and it has a certain effect. So if we plug that back in to the person that's not in the room, the mystical explanation of why it damages that person is because once you start speaking about, hey, this person, you know what, that person's a selfish person. You know what, that person, he really did something to me. What that does is it magnifies, accentuates that negative trait that's in the person and makes it harder for them to overcome it. And that's one of the dangers of Lashon Hara, of speech, is not only does it affect the person's reputation, but once you speak about it, you not only pollute your own mind, but you bring out that quality, magnify that quality in the other person. So if we flip this around, we can also learn a lesson about positive speech. that we have to get used to speaking positively about people and get used to speaking positively in general. Sometimes you may be feeling like a situation is negative, you may be depressed, you may want to communicate one thing, but you say, you know what, I'm going to speak positively. I'm going to say, you know what, it's going to be good. When you open your mouth to speak in a clean, positive way, that too has an effect. What that does is it brings out the good in other people. Or if it's a situation, you're not talking about somebody else, you just say, you know what, I think it's going to be good. That gives it a certain power, that it gives it more of a chance it's going to turn out that way. That's the thought of the week, the power of speech, the mystical power of speech. And one thing we can take home is to pay attention when we feel the urge to say something negative. Let's try once, twice to turn it around and either not say something or to say something in a positive way. It's very easy, just whatever comes to mind, to say in a negative way. But just to flip it around and say something positive and see if that has a better effect on us, on the listener, and even on the person that we're speaking about. Thank you for watching, for your time. If you like this message, please forward it to your friends, family, or anyone that you think would be interested. And if you would like to sponsor or dedicate a video, please email me at the address below. I look forward to speaking with you next week.